Hey goal-getters, welcome back to another episode of The Mental Perspective. My name is Jenna Weinstein, your sports psychology coach and owner of Ripple Effect Performance. With Thanksgiving right around the corner and other major holidays coming up fast, I know that food is top of mind for a lot of us. So I thought, what better opportunity to talk about food than to share with you my top 10 list of foods that are healthy for your brain. So let's talk about the 10 superfoods that are great for your mind and body. Let's get after it. So, quick story time. I can remember that when my husband and I would take road trips, we would need to pass the time by doing something. So I would always come up with different games that we could play to help us kill the time. I would always find these games really fun. My husband, not so much, but he would oblige and play the games anyway. One of the games that I like to play is where I just ask random questions and scenarios and see what we would do and what our answers would be for these scenarios. And one day on a road trip, I asked my husband, hey babe, if you were gonna open your own food truck, what would your food truck be and why? And he said, probably some type of taco food truck or maybe a barbecue food truck. What about you, babe? I'm like, oh, thanks for asking. Actually, I have a great idea for a food truck. My food truck would be a super food truck where I only serve foods that are superfoods, meaning that these are foods that are nutritious and have a really high nutrient content for our bodies and our minds, because I just want to help people feel good and be good. So what better way to share with you what foods I'd be serving in my super food truck than right now. Okay, so superfood number one that's great for our minds are blueberries. So what's so great about blueberries is that they really help us increase our short-term memory. So think about if you have a really long day with a lot of meetings, or if you have trainings and practices after a long day of school, maybe you want to pack some blueberries as a snack because blueberries can really show an impact and an increase in our short-term memory. So we'll be more likely to remember important information and develop skills more easily. So try some blueberries in your everyday lives. The second superfood that we should make a point to eat more of that's great for our brains is salmon. So what's so great about salmon is that because there is such a high omega-3 fatty acid content in salmon, this is so great for our brain health. And the third superfood that is great for our brain health is dark chocolate. And this was something that I never really incorporated into my everyday life because I'm not really a chocolate fan, I'm more of a vanilla person. But I remember going to school growing up, and my teachers would always tell me before SATs and state exams, hey, bring some chocolate with you because it'll be helpful for you during the test. And I just thought it was a ploy for them to get us to buy more stuff from the school vending machines and increase the school's funding. But it's actually a thing. Chocolate is actually really good for our brains, and chocolate can be really good for us to pay more attention, be more energized, and remember information in the moment. So if you're a chocolate fan and this is good news for you, up your dark chocolate intake. And the fourth superfood that's great for our brain health are beans. So beans are so fibrous and they have a lot of different nutrients that our brains love to soak up. And when our brains are exposed to beans in their diet, our brains are more prevented from those neurological and cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's and dementia. And the fifth superfood that is great for our brain health is whole grains. So this could be anything from oats, breads, pastas, wheats, you name it. Whole grains are also really great for our brain health in the fact that they're fibrous and they have a lot of different nutrients that our brains love to absorb. And because whole grains are a carbohydrate, our brains are gonna soak them up as well. And this is gonna help our brains stay more energized throughout the day and be able to take care of more tasks throughout the day if we have really long and demanding days in our schedule. So if you're a fan of whole grains, start incorporating them more into your diet for your brain's sake. And the sixth superfood that is great for our brain health is turmeric. And this isn't as much of a food as it is a spice that we can use for cooking. And if you're not used to cooking with turmeric, now's the time to start. You can't miss it in the spice aisle. It is a beautiful orangey yellow, vibrant spice that adds so much flavor to your cooking as well. And what is amazing about turmeric is that it can help reduce inflammation. So not only does it reduce inflammation in our joints and our muscles, but turmeric can also reduce inflammation in our brains. Yes, our brains can suffer from inflammation as well. Our brains are working hard all day, up all night, and our brains sometimes get inflamed from all the toxins that are produced. So turmeric is a really great spice and food to add into your diet to help reduce that inflammation that builds up in our brains. And the seventh superfood that is also great for our brain health is another spice and seasoning, and this is sage. And I know sage isn't necessarily a spice, it's more of an herb, but sage is really great because it's super fragrant and it goes really well with a lot of dishes this time of year. Thanksgiving's coming up. Sprinkle some sage on that butternut squash if that's in your repertoire, or maybe your sweet potatoes. Sage goes really well with those foods. And what sage does, it really helps enhance our memory and our recall. So imagine if you're staying up late cramming for finals, if you're a student right now, or if you're working late nights, have a little sage going on in your room or incorporate some sage into your meals. Maybe pair it with some dark chocolate and you're golden. Your brain's now firing on even more cylinders and your memory and recall is super enhanced right now. The eighth superfood that we have for our brains are nuts and seeds. And this was something that I've always known. Nuts and seeds are good for you, they're healthy. But what's really great about nuts and seeds is that they're really energizing for our brain. And again, they also help with our memory and recall and just overall brain health. And I got to thinking when I started reading this, maybe this is why squirrels are really good at remembering where they hide their nuts and their food over the winter time, because they eat so many nuts. It's easier for them to remember where everything is. So if you want to be more squirrel-like in a good way, maybe you need to incorporate more nuts in your diet. And the ninth superfood, and I know a lot of you are going to be really happy to hear this, is coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, good for you. Coffee is actually really good for the brain. And remember, everything in moderation, but research has found that coffee can be really beneficial for everyone if they drink maybe one serving of coffee a day, because it can really help in our brains being more alert and our memory and recall as well. But what if you're like me and you just don't like coffee? I don't like coffee. I hope I don't lose subscribers over this. But if you're like me and you don't like coffee, or if you don't want as much caffeine in your diet, green tea and black tea have similar effects that coffee do for the brain. Just as healthy for the brain, improve memory and recall, and also reduce the risk of cognitive disorders as well. So coffee, tea, doesn't matter. When morning comes, make yourself a hot beverage and get your day started right. And the 10th superfood that is great for our brain health, and I saved my favorite for last, are avocados. So if you're like me, I'm an avocado fanatic and I actually have an avocado a day. And research has shown that people who have an avocado a day are less likely to have cognitive deficiencies and they experience increases in their problem-solving ability. So maybe the saying needs to change from an apple a day keeps the doctor away to an avocado a day keeps the doctor away. So I hope you all got some really great information from this video and you're excited to try incorporating some more foods into your everyday diet that's going to help your brain health. Remember, this isn't an exhaustive list of foods that are great for our brain health. So if you really enjoyed this video and you want an extended version, or you want more foods that are great for our minds and bodies, comment down below and let me know that you want more of these types of videos, and I'm more than happy to talk about foods that are good for our bodies and minds. And if you really took something away from this video, make sure you let me know, not just in the comments, but like this video and subscribe to this channel already if you haven't done that, so that you can be notified when new content is coming out every week. And you can continue following me on social media, and you can also join my Facebook group, Start Your Ripple Effect Community, where I'm going to be posting upcoming challenges and information on how you can increase your mental strength. And coming soon in the next week, I'm going to be starting a 31-day journaling challenge throughout the entire month of December. So if that's something that you want to learn more about, it's completely free. You got to join my Facebook community to take part in this challenge, and you'll be provided with a free journaling template and tips on how to increase your ability to be more present-minded and experience gratitude on an everyday basis. So join my Facebook group today. Link's going to be in the description. And remember, folks, I'm here to bring you strategies and techniques that will help you strengthen your mindset, which will lead to accomplishing your goals and being more successful in life. Because that's what the ripple effect is, folks. So let's start your ripple effect today.